Thanks for watching. Today I'm going to show you a little bit more of an advanced border. We won't call it advanced, more intermediate. I know you can do it. It's not real complicated. It just has a few components to it. So let me just walk you through step by step. It's called the double S and C scroll border. It's really nice, looks great on wedding cakes, birthday cakes, anything you want to put it on. So let me just walk you through step by step. I think you're going to like this one. Today I'm working with royal icing. You could also do this with buttercream, but whenever I'm working with royal icing, I want to make sure it doesn't dry out. So I have the ends of my bags tied with bag ties here, and I'm using the PME icing bag stand. What I would like about this, it has 6 cavities, so if I have different tips, I can keep them at the ready. And then the sponge is damp, so it keeps the tips moist and ready to go instead of drying out. So I'm going to start with a PME tip 43. Remember that a tip number is not universal from one brand to another. So this is the PME brand of the 43 that I'm using. Scroll basically has 2 shapes, S's and C's. So you can have any kind of version of an S. It can be like a thin, elongated scroll, or it could be a little bit more loopy, like so. But the basic shapes are the same, S's and C's. And the C would go something like this. It's basically a little scroll and a tail. Okay, so we're going to put those together. What I'm going to do is start to layer this. I'm going to switch over to my Wilton tip 18, and I'm going to create a little barrel for this to rest on. So basically I'm going to start my little cranky rope border, swells in the middle, and then tapers back down, and this is going to give me a nice little base on which to start. Switching back over to my tip 43, I'm just going to give you an example over here to the side before I actually build on this of what it's going to look like. So when I say double S, I'm starting with my single S first, and then a second S is what makes it a double S. And I'm kind of merging these tails to where they're all one type of border. And then the C goes on there, so this is where it gets the name, double S and C. So this is basically just kind of a combination that looks really nice. Now if I were going to continue this, you could do this just on its own without putting it on the barrel. If I were going to continue it, I would just do another S, double S, and then the C. So you would just multiply that over and over and over again, just kind of merging the tail onto the head. So what I'm going to do here is basically start my S, and I'm going to do a second S, and then I'm going to put the C on there. So this, you could just leave this like this with just the double S and C scroll done with the 43. I'm actually going to layer on top of that, and I'm going to use a Wilton 3 right now, and I'm going to start with the same thing, just following the line. And you'll notice that I'm not drawing directly on it. I'm kind of picking it up and letting it fall. And that's what you want to do with the smaller round tips. So I'll do it the second one again, the second S, and again, just kind of letting it fall, pulling the tail in, tapering them together, and then doing the C, same thing, tapering the tails together, and then I'm going to grab my tip number 2 and just layer on top of that as well. Same thing, I'm going to pipe it out, and I'm going to kind of lift it up and let it fall in the proper place. That's going to give you a little bit of a smoother look than trying to actually draw it on there. Tapering that in, and the second S, clean tip, second S. Again, just take your time. This is patience. Taper it, clean the tip. It's really important to have that clean tip, especially when you're working with smaller tips. And then tapering the tail again. And then again, that was a tip number 2. You could continue this with a number 1, a number 0, double 0 in the PME line. Those are really nice tips. So that's the double S and C scroll. I think it's a really elegant border. I don't think it's too complicated, but it really looks intricate when you start to layer it. So give it a try, a little bit of practice, and I think you're going to have it down in no time. Have fun with it.